guys, so today we're going to look at some division word problems. So I want you to get your little baggie, and we're going to look at card number 1. Okay, would anybody like to read this word problem for me? Khalees, go ahead.
You are organized a trolley ride for 297 total students, teachers, and parents. If each trolley can seat 5 people, how many trolleys do you need?
Good job. Okay, so I'm going to read it for you one more time. She said you are organizing a trolley ride for 297 total students, teachers, and parents. If each trolley can seat 5 people, how many trolleys do you need? Okay, how are we going to go about solving this problem? How are we going to solve this problem? Anybody help me? Tell me where to get started at? What we need to do? Are there any important?
Box.
Okay. Why? Okay. Tell me first. Let's back up. Why are you going to draw the box? What's the box for? What kind of box?
Division.
Okay. So you've got some numbers you're going to divide. Okay. So what numbers in here are we wanting to divide?
297.
Okay. 297. Remember, 297 divided by, what are we dividing by? Okay, 5 per trolley. Okay. So, Jaden told us that we are going to use a box. Okay, which box would you like to use, Jaden? Remember the name of it? We've got 3 different strategies that we use in class. What are those strategies we use? Horizontal area model, vertical area model, partial quotients. Partial quotients. Okay, well, let's use partial quotients. Since we're not real sure about it, let's talk about that one. Let's use that one. 297 divided by 5. 297 divided by 5. Let me give you this marker. See if it writes a little better. Okay. Now, what is something I can use here to help me? What is something I can use? What's something I can do here? We did this with our other strategies to help us.
Write out your 5.
Okay, let's write out our 5 multiplication facts. And that will help to give us a little bit of support to solve this problem. What is 5 times 1?
5.
5 times 2?
10.
5 times 3?
15.
5 times 4?
20.
5 times 5?
25.
5 times 6?
30.
5 times 7?
35.
5 times 8?
40.
5 times 9?
45.
45, okay? So let's make sure we've got all those listed. Good job, 5, 10, 15, good job. Okay, so now I want you two ladies to go ahead and think about 5 times what? What are we going to use? How many times is 5 going to go into our number? Just kind of think about it in your mind, okay? All right, good job. So let's think. 5 will go into this 2 in the hundreds place, okay? Let's look at this 2 in the hundreds. 5 will go into that 2 how many times?
No.
Okay, all right, let's look at this. Now let's look at 29.
25.
Okay, how do you get 25?
5 times 5.
5 times 5. But we have got to remember, okay, so we said 5 times 5. Okay, so let's put a 5 up here, like I did on top of that one. Good job, Joy. Okay, so we've got to think about this as 2910. So what do we need to add here to make this correct?
Subtract.
Okay, what have we got to add? We've
A
got
0.
Okay, so instead we have 5 times 50. Okay, so we have 5 times 50. And what will 5 times 50 actually give you?
250.
Good job. Good job. 250. Okay. So if we do 5 times 50, we have 250. Okay, and then when you subtract, you can just bring the numbers over here. Okay. All right. So now we subtract, and what am I left with?
47.
47. 47. What would my next step be, Kendra? What could I do next? Okay, good job. How many times will 5 go into 4 or 47? So how many times would that be?
9.
Okay, so you look at 47 as that
It'll
whole
be
number.
45.
Okay, you can do 9 times 5. Good job, Jaden. It'll be 45. then you can just write your 9.
And you
over
left
here.
with 2.
Okay.
And your remainder
So you
is 2.
subtracted and you have 2. Good
And
job.
it's 59 with the remainder 2.
So Felice went ahead and added our what? What are those numbers?
Remainder.
Okay. Are they remainders? Which number is your remainder?
2.
Okay, 2 is your remainder. This is what you're left with. Okay, 2 is what you are left with. What is 50 and the 9 on top?
59.
Okay. Okay, let's think about what was the strategy called? Partial
Quotients.
quotients. So what are these two numbers actually called?
Partial quotients.
They are partial quotients. They are part of your quotient. And your final quotient is 59 with the remainder of 2.
Can you go back and multiply
Okay. Now, why would you go back and multiply?
to see if you end up with the same number?
Okay. So it's kind of like you're checking your work. And why would you multiply? Multiplication is the what to division? Kind of like when we add and subtract and add there. It's the inverse operation. Okay. We can check using the inverse operation. So 5, if we're checking 5 times 9 would be what?
45.
45. 5 times 5
25.
plus 4.
29. And you take your remainder and then you add that with the number. And then you get 297.
297. Good job. Now, what's another way we can check it? What's a tool you have here on the table that you can use?
Calculator.
All right, let's check it with a calculator. Okay, so everybody get our calculator. Go ahead and practice plugging it in, and then show me your calculator when you have the correct answer. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let me see it. Good job. Perfect.
Do we erase it?
Okay. Now let's go back to the question. It says if each trolley can seat 5 people, how many trolleys do you need? So what was your answer to the question? Okay. All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to erase your whiteboard. Okay. We're going to go to our next word problem, which is number 4. You can just swap them out in your bags. And what I want you to do with your partner, I want you to read number 4, solve it, talk about it and solve it. You can use any strategy you want. We went over partial quotients. And I'm going to go check on my other groups, and I'm going to come back in and check with you all, okay? You understand? Okay, go ahead and get started.
Six girls on each team. How many teams are there?
So, there are 181 girls and basketball team. Okay.
So our number is 101 and
Divided by
Okay,
6.
Shane, so what strategies are you using here?
I'm using horizontal.
So,
Partial
let's go ahead and do multiplication.
Okay, so when you solve this problem here 2 different ways, did you get the same answer when you solved it? Okay, so when you use partial quotients, you were able to check your work and it was correct? Okay, good job, good job, good job. Keep up the good work. I like that awesome work I'm seeing. Good job. All right, partners, let me see what you have here. Okay, what card are we looking at right now? Okay, we're on number 5. Okay, it says write the division sentence that matches the illustration above and fill in the missing numbers. Okay, so tell me how you're going about solving this problem. Okay, what can you do? How are you having to work it out? Okay, so how can you figure that out? Okay, so instead of subtracting here, you're having to work backwards. Okay, so instead of subtracting, what are you doing? You're adding. Okay, good job, good job. Okay, I'm gonna come back and check on you a little bit, okay?
What? Think of something that gives you 72.
Okay, so what problem are you working at? Okay, number 3, it says, what is my divisor? Okay, what is my divisor? So how do you think you need to solve that to find out what your divisor is? What are you doing in order to determine what your divisor is?
Think of something that gives you 72.
Oh, okay. So you need to think about some way to get 72. So how could you do that?
9 times 8.
Oh, wow. 9 times 8 gives you 72. Good. Okay. So if you had a 9 there, what would you do to know that that does work?
Try to put 9 over here.
Okay. All right. Good job. Good job, ladies. Keep it up. It says there are 181 girls in the basketball league, and 6 girls are on each team. How many teams are there? So looking at your answers, okay, I see that all of us look, good job, partial quotient. So your answer is 30 with the remainder of 1, 30 with the remainder of 1, and you all have 30, okay? And what do you do with this 1 right here? Okay, so it would also be your what? It will be your remainder, so 30 with the remainder of 1. Good. Now let's talk about this. It says how many teams are there? So how many teams are there?
181.
Okay, let's go back. You divided, and what was your answer?
30 with the remainder.
30 with the remainder of 1.
1.
Okay, so how many teams do they need? How many teams are there?
130 with the remainder.
30 with the remainder of 1. So can we have a remainder of 1 team? Okay, well, so let's talk about what that means, okay? So you have 30 with the remainder of 1. What was our number that we divided? 181. We took 181 and you divided it by what? 6. And when you divided it by 6, how many teams, how many full teams do you have? 30. What is this remainder here?
The
1 what? One player that's what? That's 1 player that we need to put on a team. Okay, so we've got this 1 person we need to put on a team. So what are we going to do now? We've got 1 person.
We go multiply.
Okay, now let's think about this. We've got 30 full teams. We've got 1 person that's not on a team that we need to put on a team. So how many teams would we actually have? 31 teams, okay? You can't just leave this 1 person out. We can't not put them on a team. So you have 1 person that we didn't have room for. So instead of 30 with the remainder of 1 teams, how many teams are we going to have?
31.
We're going to have 31 teams. Good job. You can go ahead and erase your boards. Okay. Put your materials back, and we're now going to switch to our next group, okay? All right, go ahead. Good job. Make sure you take your station folders with you. Yep.